Hey y'all, I'm back and I'll be making pepper steak over rice for my crew. Right now I'm going to be seasoning both sides of the meat. I went to Costco and bought a pack of beef round thin slice cut. And I'm going to set it aside and let it marinate in the seasoning for about 30 minutes while I'm prepping the rest of the vegetables. And to that, I'm going to add a little bit of avocado oil while it sits. And while that's resting, I'm going to get the rest of the vegetables cut up. To the pepper steak, I'm going to be adding bell peppers and onions. I do have some red and some yellow and a little bit of green. I'm going to slice up the bell peppers and the onion. Now I do prefer a slice over a dice or a chop when I make pepper steak. It gives it a little bit of uniformity to the dish because I will also be cutting the meat in slices. And just in case someone doesn't want large slices of onion, I do cut the slices in half. And I haven't made this dish in quite some time. It has been a while. So I decided to surprise the fam with some pepper steak, which they're actually really looking forward to enjoying. And here I'm just chopping up the rest of the vegetables. I do have red, orange, and green, and you can use whatever best suits your family's needs. If it's just all red or all green, it's really going to be to your liking. And I really tend to use whatever's on hand. Now this dish, it might seem like there's a lot of vegetables, but we do like a lot of vegetables, and vegetables will get cooked down in the dish, but vegetables equals flavor. So after I finish slicing the rest of the vegetables, I'm going to go ahead and clean up my area really quick and then go ahead and move on to slicing up the pepper steak. And as you can see, I have a board for my vegetables, and then I pull out a plastic liner to cut up my meat. I personally don't cut meat on any of my cutting boards. I use the plastic liner if and when I need to cut up any meat. That's what I use. So here I'm going to be cutting thin slices of strips in my beef round. And when cutting, you want to cut against the grain so that to ensure that you'll get some tender slices of meat. You don't want to be chewing on tough pieces of meat. And while my pan is heating up, I'm grabbing the rest of the ingredients. So I do have a ground ginger, I do have a cornstarch to be used as a thickener. I'm going to be using a low sodium soy sauce, and I do have oil to brown the meat as well. And again, you can use your choice of oil. I do add diced garlic, and I dice my garlic and prep it, freeze it into small portions. And I'm just going to drop a couple of knots of garlic into my pan. I do have a beef broth, and you can use a vegetable broth. You can even use water. It's to your preference. That beef broth is just going to add an additional layer of flavor, but is not required. And as you've seen, I did use a powdered ginger, but you could definitely use fresh ginger. And while this cooks through, I'm gonna make a slurry, and then using cornstarch as a thickener. There's just a couple of scoops of cornstarch mixed with the soy sauce, and I'm gonna let that marry while the meat is sauteing. Into the pan, I'm going to go ahead and drop in those knots of garlic. I'm going to finish browning the meat, and I am actually going to cook this for another 5 to 7 minutes with the lid on. Let it cook down before I add the rest of the vegetables. Thought I was going to drop the veggies in there. Nope. Gotta put on the lid. With the beautiful technology of editing, time has lapsed, and it's now time to add those vegetables in. Stir, stir, stir. And then we're going to drop the lid on again for just a couple more minutes. Now here's an opportunity where you can add a little bit more seasoning since you did add additional vegetables. Lid is not required. You want to season to taste. And don't forget to stir, stir, stir. Now a couple minutes have passed, and I'm going to go ahead and add that cornstarch slurry and the beef broth. And the cornstarch will thicken up with the beef broth and all the juices, and it's not going to be not quite a gravy consistency, but a nice thick sauce, and that'll be great once we pour that over the rice. Now off to the side, I did slice up a couple of wedges of tomato, which technically is in the recipe, but is not required. Tomatoes is just going to add another level of richness and flavor to the dish, but it will get cooked down as with the rest of the vegetables, so you won't have big bites of tomato. But you can omit the tomatoes. I do let this cook down for another 10 minutes, and we're ready to plate. I did make a pot of rice on the side, and now it's time to eat. And here we are, a plate of delicious flavor. A nice pepper steak over rice. And what are you having for dinner this evening? I hope you make time to get in the kitchen and make something warm and delicious for you and your family to enjoy. And here is my son giving a taste test. Looking for that thumbs up. Is it good? Well, you know it's good. You know it's good. Thank you for watching.